2026. It's 6:30 p.m. and this is a regular meeting of the Governing Board of the Catalina Foothills School District. On behalf of the Governing Board, I want to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Members of the public, are not attending in person at the moment, but perhaps remotely through YouTube Live. In a few minutes, I'll read the rules of order for public comment at Governing Board meetings. If you wish to make a public comment remotely, you should have signed up using the Google form that's available under the YouTube Live description. If you don't see the link to that Google form, you can refresh your YouTube live stream. No one is currently present in our audience, but I will say, for the benefit of anyone who may be watching the video recording of this at a later time and considering coming to a board meeting to speak, you are welcome to do so in person. And it's a simple process. You fill out this purple sheet that's located on the table at the front of the room. So at this time, I would invite everyone to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Governing Board welcomes public comments at its meetings by providing 2 opportunities for the public to address the board. If your topic of interest is not on the agenda, you may address the board during the public comments time slot near the beginning of the meeting. Or if the topic is on the agenda, you may speak just prior to the discussion of that agenda topic. In the event there's a public hearing, the opportunity to speak will be reopened. If you're joining remotely and wish to make a public comment, and I don't see that anyone, oh, there is. We have one person signed up, so that's great. If you're joining remotely and you wish to make a public comment, you should have already submitted the Google form provided with the YouTube link. For those attending in public, again, you would hand the purple form, which is entitled Request to Address the Governing Board, to our board secretary. The information that's requested on these forms is required for our meeting minutes. Speakers will be called upon when it is their turn to address the board. For those attending remotely, you may choose to enable your camera, but as a reminder to remote attendees who wish to speak, please unmute your microphone when called upon. Each speaker has 3 minutes to address the board. The sound of a buzzer indicates the end of your 3 minutes. In the event of a large number of speakers, the board may need to limit that time so that they can conduct the business on the agenda. By law, the board cannot discuss, consider, or vote on topics that are not on the agenda. This assures the community that they are aware of the topics that will be discussed. If you wish to discuss a topic through written communication, board members' contact information can be found on the district website. We appreciate the community's interests and comments at this meeting. Thank you. Item 1.4 on our agenda is outstanding achievements. And for that, we turn to Superintendent Dr. Denise Bartlett.
Thank you. I am pleased to highlight several student and staff achievements tonight. The first being, it goes to our high school's Advanced Theater program, which earned the prestigious Gold Status Honor Troupe, ranking at the Arizona Thespian Festival in Phoenix. This distinction recognizes exceptional achievement across all aspects of theater education and requires troupes to demonstrate excellence in student-led theater production, community service and outreach, high ratings in acting and technical theater competitions, active participation in Arizona Thespian workshops and festivals, attendance at professional theater performances, collaboration with other theater troupes throughout Tucson, and robust club engagement, including industry partnerships and student opportunities. So it reflects their dedication and talent and leadership of our theater students and a vibrant culture that they've built together. The names of the students who are in that advanced theater troupe will be in the border tomorrow. There's too many to list tonight, but we're very proud of this outstanding achievement for them. On that same note, our theater arts teacher, Amy Byrode, was named the Arts Hero by On Media. So she's been recognized for strengthening theater arts in our community. It's a monthly Arts Hero program which celebrates individuals who champion the arts behind the scenes, in the box office, and throughout Arizona communities. She teaches 150 students across 6 classes in acting and technical production classes at the high school. And something new this year that she's doing, so she helps students with seasonal events at CFSD elementary schools. And because she believes so strongly to make the theater accessible to all, she guided a student project on producing sensory-friendly viewings of plays. So the next play, which is The Drowsy Chaperone, was adapted with reduced sound and house lights. So, yeah, really some special things. Thomas Vamos, our senior, has made it to the final round of the Flynn Scholarship. He was one of 37 Arizona high school students selected for this honor. So he will be visiting Arizona's 3 public universities and deciding, and then he'll travel to the Flynn Foundation for interviews with the final Flynn Scholars class of 2026 to be announced in April. So we're sitting on pins and needles for Thomas. We have Chris Flores at Sunrise Drive, who she's a music teacher at Sunrise Drive. She received the ACE Elementary Choral Educator of the Year Award for 2026 at the Arizona Music Educators Association annual conference that was held on January 31st. This award recognized her exceptional contributions to choral music education and her impact on students and colleagues throughout Arizona. And on that same note, adding to that, she was the choir at Sunrise Drive, under her direction, was selected to perform at the conference, which was a highly competitive honor, and it's reserved for outstanding music programs from across the state. I don't know if you know it, but the Sunrise Drive Choir has over 100 students.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Yes, it's a very large choir program. So she's really built a very large choir over there.
Must have some wicked class management.
Yes, she may separate it out. I don't know if she has, but there are over 100 kids.
Great.
One of our employees, Ryan Smale, received the statewide Outstanding Paraeducator Award. So Ryan Smale works with our special education students at the high school, and he's been named the recipient of the AZCEC Outstanding Paraeducator Award. It recognizes paraeducators who demonstrate exceptional dedication, professionalism, and impact in supporting students with special needs. His commitment is really quite phenomenal. It goes far beyond what we would expect. He worked extended hours at grad night so that the student that he supports could celebrate with his peers. And he has done extensive work helping students find their voices through communication devices, opening new worlds of connections for him. So he's an exceptional team member, and this is a well-deserved recognition for him. His mother also works at the high school in the special education department.
That's great.
Yes. And finally, our pioneers. We're back, more pioneers. The Pioneer Robotics. They earned the 2nd place Inspire Award at the Petrified Wood qualifying tournament. Okay, so they continued their season on January 24th at Brophy College Prep School, and earning a 2nd place Inspire Award in this year's first LEGO Challenge, Decode, presented by Riggs. But what's interesting about this, they've already won first prize for this. So you couldn't win 2 first prizes, so they couldn't win anything higher than second place. So they got that. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. They couldn't win 2 first prizes.
Really
so they had
weird rule.
Isn't it? Isn't that? It is. I know. But they celebrate teams on their all-around inspiration to others by demonstrating excellence in robot design and performance. And Charlotte Ackerman is the teacher for that, and her dedication has been years and years with the robotics team. So those members will be also listed in our border tomorrow. So congratulations to them on their well-deserved recognition.
It was a really fun memo to read this.
Yeah.
It just stood out for me. You know, you've got teachers, you've got students, you got academics, you've got arts, you've got science and
Yes.
math. It was a really fun one.
Well, and something that's not on there, you may not know, but our boys soccer team is #1 in the state, right? So
Excellent.
they are a little bit of sports too.
There you
That's
go.
wonderful.
So yes,
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Always a highlight to start a board meeting with those outstanding achievements. I was gonna say accomplishments, but kind of.
Their accomplishments too.
Same thing.
Okay. Item 2.0 is our public comment time. I indicated that nobody is present with us, but we do have somebody online who would like to speak. Mr. Rogers, if you can hear me and you're ready to either open your camera, turn on your camera if you'd like us to be able to see you. If not, just your audio is fine. We'll make sure we can hear you, and then you can begin making your comments. We got you.
Gotcha.
Dr. Rogers, thank you for your comments. Okay. Before I close public comments, okay, he signed up twice, so we're good. Okay, there's no one in the audience, there are no further comments online, so I will close our comment period for this evening and move on to our consent agenda. Does any board member have an item that they would like to pull for further discussion or consideration?
I'd like to pull 3.7, the gifts and donations memo.
Okay. Anything else anyone needs to pull?
I would like to pull 3.4 field trip request.
Okey doke. Okay, with the exception of 3.4 and 3.7, may I have a motion?
Yes, I move that the governing board approve consent agenda items 3.1, the Governing Board January 27th, 2026 regular meeting minutes as presented. 3.2, the Governing Board January 27th, 2026 executive session meeting minutes as presented. 3.3, the expense voucher memorandum as presented. 3.5, the fundraising request memorandum as presented. 3.6, the personnel memorandum as presented. 3.8, the terms and conditions for the acceptance of monies from the School Facilities Division Building Renewal Grant Fund for project number BRG-007969 for the replacement of the fire alarm control system at Manzanita Elementary School with an estimated amount between $400,000 and $800,000, not to exceed $800,000 as presented. And 3.9, the terms and conditions for the acceptance of monies from the School Facilities Division Building Renewal Grant Fund for project number BRG-007971 for the replacement of an air conditioning unit at Canyon View Elementary School in the estimated amount of $50,000 as presented.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And going in numerical order, item 3.4, approval of field trip request memorandum. Tom?
Yes, the comment I wanted to make, this is one of my favorite field trip request memoranda every year because it has the community schools outdoor adventures series, and I
Very
just
fun stuff.
wanted to commend community schools both for their creativity in finding new destinations and also in expanding their capacity so that all different age groups up through, I believe, 9th grade are able to have some of these amazing experiences. And I know they've intentionally worked to expand capacities so that they can make those different offerings. My own kids have been on the outdoor adventures outings, and they've always been consistently amazing. So just want to commend community schools for their efforts there.
Is this still Mary Grodman behind all of this?
Actually, we've hired a second person, so, and she's trained them and has gone on additional training. So now we have 2 people that are offering these. Otherwise, some
I
of these
know, I
trips-
was looking at this list going, how can Mary do all
No,
this?
it's both. There's 2 people now.
She's always had such a huge amount of enthusiasm for this
Yes.
kind of a thing, and I think
Yes.
that's pretty special about our community schools program.
And she gets the kids excited about it.
Oh, yeah,
And it's,
absolutely.
She's so knowledgeable when she's
Yeah.
yes.
out there with them.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Absolutely.
I have a motion?
You may. I move that the governing board approve the field trip request memorandum as presented.
Second. Again.
Okay,
three of
people,
Like 3. There we go. I'm on delayed response.
we'll go with Eileen. How's that? Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3.4 is approved, 5-0. I should have said that. And the gifts and donations memorandum, 3.7. Eileen?
Along the same lines as Tom's comments, I just wanted to point out that in this particular gifts and donations memo, the FFOs are on display.
Yep.
Another one of the reasons why our school district is so incredibly special is the effort that our Sunrise Drive, Ventana Vista, every single elementary school is on this gifts and donations memo, from sponsoring all kinds of fun field trips to making capital investments in our school properties with the donation from Canyon View FFO and the Sunshades. Our schools would look very, very different. Our educational program would look a little bit different without the effort of these really energetic parents and family members who fundraise and do all this great stuff for us. So I just wanted to shout it out because they were very heavily featured in the memo this evening.
True.
Yep.
And also, although we accepted the gift from the foundation 2 weeks ago, the
Yes.
funds also appear on this
Yes, they
memo
do.
as well. So we appreciate that as well. Thank you. Would you like to make a motion?
I would. I move that the governing board approve the acceptance with gratitude of the gifts and donations memorandum as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 3.7 is approved, and that takes us all the way through the consent agenda. And on to our new business for this evening, which I'll get to in just a second. Okay. Here we go. Item 4.1 on this evening's agenda is consideration of revisions to policy DA, fiscal management goals. This is a first reading. Dr. Bartlett.
Thank you. Our policy services through Arizona School Boards Association has begun to customize and adapt their policy manual, and so they're starting with each of the sections. And because Section D is all about the financials, which we are moving into budget season, I'm starting with some of these policies to bring forward to you for revision, so that they align right with what the work we're going to be doing in the next few weeks with our budget. So the first policy that I'm bringing forward is policy DA, fiscal management goals. You can see that this was a rather short, it is a rather short policy, but the revision includes an update to the policy title and then several minor edits to align with current best practices. So the policy title was revised to fiscal management goals. There's not priority objectives anymore. That was removed as the policy reflects broad fiscal outcomes rather than a specific list of priority objectives. Then there were minor edits throughout the policy to improve the clarity, ensure the alignment with current best practices. The opening paragraph was revised just to make it clearer. The first bulleted statement was reworded to state, ensure budget development aligns with the district's strategic direction and plan. The second bulleted statement, the term monetary income was replaced with revenue to reflect standard fiscal terminology. The third bulleted statement was revised to clarify that the board will guide and monitor expenditures to achieve successful student outcomes. The fourth bulleted statement was updated to include a focus on effectiveness and transparency. The fifth bulleted statement was revised to state that the district will maintain a per-student expenditure level that provides for the needs of all students. And then the policy adoption date was revised, or it's actually just included. I don't think we ever had a policy date on the bottom of this one. Yeah, I think it might have just said policy adoption. I don't think we had a date. So very small policy, but it kind of guides the work of the fiscal management in the district and the board specifically, your work
Yes.
with fiscal management.
I have no concerns about the changes personally. I do particularly like the the fourth bullet point that you commented on, the rewording that says to ensure budget development aligns with the district's strategic direction and plan. I think that's a nice.
I do too.
It's something that we're all cognizant of, but I think codifying it here is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about relatively minor rewording of the opening paragraph. There's just something about the governing board recognizes that money and its management has a foundational effect. It's really,
I stumbled on that as well.
yeah, I kept stumbling over it, so I said, well, let's try to rewrite it. And I would recommend maybe something like this that especially recognizes that we're dealing with public funds. It's not just money, we're dealing with public funds. And my recommendation, or at least what I scribbled when I was reading this, was the governing board recognizes that the proper and prudent management of our district's public funding has a foundational effect on the school district's operations. There's just something about the recognizes that money
Yes.
and its management that I stumble over every time I read it.
Okay.
And it's, not necessary to use my wording, I just find this wording a little bit awkward.
Can you send me the wording and then we can?
Yeah, I can send it to
Can
you.
you say it one more time?
The governing board recognizes that the proper and prudent management of our district's public funding has a foundational effect on the school district's operations. To make fiscal management as effective as possible, so just
Yes.
going right into it, the board intends to, and then you go into the very well-written bullet points of the policy.
knowing that we are in part reliant on private funds and donations, as we just saw, do we want to call out public funds specifically, or just say funds?
Not married to it, but maybe,
I mean, I hear your point.
Yeah.
The majority of our budget is from taxpayer dollars, et cetera, but as we just saw, there's a lot of private donations that are supporting different programs.
But that, but those things are not in our
Right.
budget.
Not-
Yeah.
sure.
I stumbled upon it, but I had nothing better to add. Thank you. Yes. Any other concerns or comments about this policy? It'll come back in 2 weeks with the new wording, and that'll be that. Yep. Okay, thank you. Item 4.2, in the same vein, is consideration of revisions to policy and regulation DB, DBR, annual budget, schedule, preparation, planning, format, and posting, and submission. This is also a first reading.
It
Dr.
is.
Bartlett.
And in this reorganization of Section D of our policy manual, there are some policies that are eliminated or subsumed into another policy, and that's what we have tonight. So as policies DBC and DICA have been consolidated into this policy DB. We've never had a regulation DB before, so that regulation is all new.
Okay.
So there's a little bit more extensive changes to this. But the language from the policies DBC and DIC related to the annual budget has been moved into policy DB. It streamlines the budget-related guidance into a single policy for easier reference and implementation. You can see the format of that. It has been retitled Annual Budget, Schedule, Preparation, Planning, Format, and Posting and Submission. I think it just used to be called Annual Budget. Just the annual budget. So this is to better reflect its contents, and new headings have been added for ease of reading as well. Under the schedule, that paragraph has been transferred from the former policy DBC and incorporated into this policy word for word. It's the same wording from policy DBC. Under format, you can see the section has been updated to align with Arizona revised statutes, and it requires the district to use the budget format developed by the Arizona Department of Education in coordination with the Auditor General. And we're required to post the following information on our website: the average teacher salary for the current year, the average teacher salary for the prior year, the dollar increase in the average teacher salary, and the percentage increase in the teacher salary. And that there is a place at the bottom of our website where you can see average teacher salary.
Is that at the bottom of the homepage?
Yes.
I thought so, I just want to make sure.
Then under posting and submission section, it's been expanded to reflect the requirements of ARS 15-905, and the new language requires the district to post the most recent Auditor General profile pages showing the percentage of funds spent in the classroom, and submit the annual budget to the Arizona Department of Education using the appropriate forms and instructions from the Auditor General. Now, our most recent Auditor General report is pretty dated. I think it's 22.
It's odd that
They
they're so
don't do
old.
every school
Every
every
year.
year, or every district every year. You're on kind of a rotation, so that was our rotation. So that's our most recent form that we have from the Auditor General, so that is posted. The legal references have been added to the bottom of this policy. Most of these references are new to this policy, but they are just transferred over from policy DBC and DICA. So they're new to this policy, but they were in those others. And then the cross-references, the all applicable cross-reference policies have been added to policy DB. Again, they're new to this policy, but they were in the old policy. Any questions on the policy? Of course, the policy date has been changed to reflect potentially next board meeting.
Well, I always think it's better and appreciate the effort to avoid repetition or having to go to numerous policies that basically all pertain to the same thing. If you can put them in one, I think it makes
Or
a
have
lot more.
one single paragraph to combine them when that makes sense. I agree.
So I like this, I mean, the schedule, the format, and the posting and submission. So is it supposed to be posting and submission or posting / submission? Because it's written with a slash at the bottom.
I think it's posting and submission.
Okay,
It's missing in the title.
it's missing in the title then. Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions or comments about this potential policy revision as it's presented to us this evening?
Just on that last section, posting and submission, I don't know why this bothers me, but it just does. I would switch the two paragraphs in order because this policy is really about the budget process and just talking about submitting the budget first and then our requirement to post on the website the Auditor General's report. For whatever reason, it just seems like it's out of order there for me, but it's a very minor point. If it bothers no one else, there's no reason to change.
I think because the title is posting
Oh.
and submission,
Maybe
The posting comes
so
first.
posting comes first.
posting comes first. Okay.
Yeah,
There are a couple of typos, and I'll just put them in an email to you.
okay, thank you.
You mentioned that there's sort of a rotation for the audits. Do we know when our next audit is? Or do they not
Oh,
announce that?
it's not really, well, we get audited every year.
Right.
The Auditor General does
Yes,
not
sorry,
do
yes.
our school analysis. We do not know
Okay.
in our next meeting. So then moving on to the regulation, again, this is all new, so I'll put and submission title. Thank you. This establishes a timeline, basically, to set the responsibilities for the preparation, adoption, and publication of the district's annual budget. The regulation outlines the district's role in developing a yearly budget schedule, which includes deadlines for salary reconciliation, maintenance and operation estimates, employee compensation, financial projections, stakeholder presentations, and the public hearing process. If you remember in December, I brought forward the process. We discussed what the budget process was going to be.
With
So
the dates.
with the
in the
dates,
last column.
correct. That's what this is really all
Yep.
about. So the regulation formalizes deadlines and procedures for the proposed budget, specifically by July, I think it's 15th. I think that might be, no, it's July 5th. The governing board must ensure that the proposed budget or summary is published, shared electronically with the state and county education officials, and submitted to the Department of Education for online posting with a link placed on our district website, because it has to be posted for 10 days. That's why it's July 5th.
Right.
It has to be posted for 10 days. Then the regulation also provides clear requirements for budget adoption. So by July 15th, we have to conduct a public hearing and immediately follow it with a meeting to adopt the budget. And once that's adopted, the final budget must be submitted electronically to the Department of Education by July 18th, with public access provided through the links again. And then publishing and notification standards require the district to post public hearing notices and budget summaries electronically through the school finance budget system. And if the Department of Education hosts these materials online, the board must file an affidavit within 30 days confirming compliance with this. And then this ensures the transparency and consistent public access to our budget information. The regulation further clarifies procedures related to override elections. So when applicable, if we're having an override election that year, we must follow statutory timelines for presenting override budgets, distributing formal informational reports, preparing alternate budgets, and requesting election cancellations. And these provisions strengthen the planning and voter communication requirements. And then finally, the regulation expands requirements for the annual financial report by October 15th. The district must prepare, distribute, and submit the report to state and county authorities and the Department of Education. And by November 15th, the report must be published electronically with links on the district's website. And then these steps just reinforce our accountability and public transparency. So it's laid out quite nicely with the headings and the timelines for each of those different components of this regulation.
I understand it brings more transparency. As far as I can tell, it doesn't substantively change our timelines.
No, it does not at all. It just kind of outlines it. So this regulation was never in the policy manual before. It's a brand-new regulation. So it's, I just think it's a cleaner read when you're looking at what is the budget process.
Right. And to Gina's point, it does bring some transparency to the process, even though there's other points in time when we discussed it in public, it is
Correct.
one, like a one-stop shop.
I was just gonna say, stop shop.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions?
On the grammatical error, I can,
Go ahead,
okay.
go ahead.
Under H, item 2, immediately following the public hearing, the president shall call the blah, 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 for the purpose of adoption of the budget.
Or
It's
adopting,
the of, or adopting of, or whatever.
thank you.
Can I ask for clarification on item G of, on the first page? Proposed budget, the governing board, and maybe it's just me that I can't understand this. The governing board shall not later than July 5th and not less than 10 days before.
So in between.
I can't figure out what that means. It, no later than July 5th and not less,
So no later instead of not probably. No later than July 5th and not less than 10 days before.
Before
So-
what?
so doesn't that mean the deadline is
adoption.
actually 10 days before July 5th? That's what I can't understand it, and it might just be me and my brain. Does
But,
it,
because it's the 10-day period between posting and adoption, right?
well, the governing shall publish a copy, it's saying no later than July 5th, but not less than 10 days before. So that tells me, not less than 10 days before July 5th, I must do all these things. And I don't think that's what
Yeah.
it means to say.
Yeah, because the
does it?
deadline for adoption is the 15th.
Right, it has
So
to be
it,
10 days.
So maybe not less than 10 days before what?
July 15th,
before,
July 15th needs to be in there, I think.
Or before the, let's see, what's the deadline? July 15th is the
July
deadline
15th
for
is-
and not less than 10 days before adopting the budget. Something like that, because the way it reads, the 10 days goes to July 5th. And that just
Yes.
basically, all that does is move the deadline 10 days before July 5th, and it makes no sense the way it reads,
Okay.
at least to me, anyway.
No, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's clumsy, I agree.
And I will say, and again, this is just me, submit to the Department of Education the proposed budget which shall prominently display the information about the district on the website maintained by the department. The district shall post a link to the website of the Department of Education where this information about the district is posted. It's pretty muddy. And I had a suggestion for that as well, if you just want me to email that.
Sure.
I don't know if people agree that it's a little bit muddy language, but stuff seems to be switched around in the sentence. I'm just trying to think of show you another example. Did I have one here? Yeah, the same thing under adopted budget, not later than July 18th, number 2.
It's really the district's budget shall post a link on, well, never mind, I'm not gonna try to fix it.
Yeah.
AI,
It's
we let
just,
Copilot
it
do
needs a read from that perspective. Another one is item K, override election. C, at least 35 days before an override election, distribute to households where qualified electors reside the informational report prepared by the county superintendent. And I think and what I'm getting at is more clearly, it should read at least 35 days before an override election. Distribute the informational report prepared by the county superintendent to households where qualified electors reside. It's written that way almost all through the policy, and I think it'd be a lot clearer
Okay.
if it's reread with that kind of a thing in mind. There is a bullet point A missing under K2. It goes K2 and it starts with a B.
Yeah.
And there was one other question I have that it was something else I couldn't understand. At least 90 days, so this is item B, at least 90 days before a proposed override election, order override election to present proposed override budget to electors.
I'm sorry, where are you at?
I'm in KB.
A2B.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, K2B. At least 90 days before a proposed override election, order override election to present proposed override budget to electors. If you take out the parenthetical, that sentence,
Yes,
and you just read that sentence through, I don't know what it's trying to say to us.
I think it's about ordering the pamphlets, and I think there's a word missing.
There might be,
Yeah,
so those are,
about
those are
ordering
just some of the
the-
things. I'll send you my suggestions,
Thank
and
you.
there's a couple of other little typos that I'll send.
okay.
Was this policy one that ASBA provided and we
No.
amended, or?
Well, yes, they provided it to us,
Yeah.
but we didn't have it in our policy manual. Yes.
We always
their
tweak and make them our own,
recommendations.
but.
I know, but I'm just trying, was the starting point something they provided, or was?
Yeah,
it-
this was exactly what they provided.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Legally.
Somebody in the department just has
Legalese.
kind of a weird writing
They do.
style.
They
They're
do.
switching
They do.
they're switching their sentence order
Yeah.
to make it, and it sounds a little bit
I
muddy.
think that's good feedback to back to them if,
Yeah.
when you have the opportunity,
Sure,
because this level of rewriting we should need to do.
Yeah, I agree.
agree.
I just have one little thing that I missed. Under G, item 1, I think there needs to be a line break or a space, just for consistency and style.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Sorry to be such a nudge.
Nudging allowed at
Well,
this
the whole
table.
point is to make them more
Yes.
clear.
Yes,
Of
absolutely.
course.
I just want to go back to item G. You're right, Eileen, that where it says the governing board shall not later than July 5th and not less than 10 days before, but that needs to be clarified. But just to call out, I think by reading further down, I think what they're saying here is, rather than, and not less than 10 days before, not putting a date there, but instead saying not less than 10 days before the adoption, to keep that open in case the date of adoption is actually sooner than July 15th.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
just to call
Right.
that out, so, right, so not putting an actual date there,
Yes.
instead of saying
Right.
not less than 10 days before
And
adoption.
it could say that that's, right,
Yeah,
that the reference point is.
is
Right.
adoption, but the date of adoption, we could
Exactly,
choose
no
for
later
that.
than July 5th, but not less than 10 days prior to the date of adoption.
Exactly,
That's what you're saying. That
exactly,
makes
yeah.
a lot more
Rather
sense.
than putting July 15th
Yeah.
there, because we
Yes.
could say, well, instead of July 15th, we're going to have the meeting on July,
Right.
maybe that's a Sunday,
Right.
or whatever, so we're going to have the meeting on July 13th, or what have you.
Exactly.
And we'll come back for a second reading on the 24th.
Okay. Any other
I have-
items of discussion on this policy? Go
Yes,
ahead.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
just taking
don't
on
apologize.
the
Go
date
ahead.
side. The dates that are in here, are these meant to be for 2026, or are the dates meant to be in perpetuity?
In perpetuity.
Okay.
It's always July 15th, it's
That's
always
right.
November 15th,
Yeah.
October 15th, it's always
Yeah.
those dates.
That's what I was thinking. I just want to clarify.
I assume they're that way in statute. That's my guess.
It is.
Sorry, what was that, Amy?
They don't
Probably in
care if our
statute.
accounting people have to work on a Sunday.
And you do it on Friday before.
Do it on Friday before.
And as Dr.
Because
Bartlett said,
You can do it early, you cannot do it late.
Exactly.
this will come back for a second reading in 2 weeks. Thank you all for your
Excuse me.
close attention to these policy revisions. That concludes our new business for this evening and brings us to discussion and reports, where the sole item is 5.1, Arizona legislative and governmental activity, our standing item that permits us to discuss anything education-related that may be happening in our government. There's a lot. Don't get too excited. It's too early.
There's a lot.
ESAs are a hot
Hot
topic.
topic.
ESAs, I think Save Our Schools has submitted
An initiative.
an initiative to put it on the ballot.
Yep.
And then lots of other things that are going through the system, lots of bills. I think it's a historic amount,
Number of bills?
number of bills, yes.
Yay.
Which that was not anticipated,
Right?
right? Because it's an election year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not anticipated that there would be this many bills.
I didn't mean to cut off any, if there's anyone who wants to discuss anything particular, just because I don't get excited to this early doesn't mean no one else can get excited about it. I'm
We're
happy-
watching
happy to
the,
discuss.
the bill that's going to require mandatory training for board members.
Oh.
That Arizona School Boards Association cannot fulfill. It has to be Department of Education. So we're watching that. There has been some,
Or the
Oh,
county,
the training has to be
superintendent,
provided
Yeah, the
by
Portage
the
County
Department of Ed?
yeah, or
Not
the county
ASPA.
superintendent.
or the county
It wouldn't
superintendent.
count.
No,
Wow.
Arizona School Boards training would not count.
You have to do it every 2
years.
years, and if you don't, then you can't be
Be
on
on-
the board.
You
Yeah,
can't run again,
can't
or
run
you
What's
would
the
be
nature of the
ineligible.
training?
fiscal management.
Oh, fiscal management,
Mhm.
okay.
and other-
Biannual trainings on a variety of subjects, including school finance.
Right.
And failure to complete marks a school board member ineligible for reelection,
Yes.
which is a very hefty consequence. I have no trouble with the training part of it,
No,
although
I'm not aware of any
I
other.
tend to wonder about non-ASBA training.
Especially if it's not standardized from
Right.
the state to the 15 counties. Like, who's putting the training together?
Yeah, at the county supervisor or superintendent
And
level
what's-
too, yeah, good point.
How does it differ?
I'm not aware of any other rule or law that, I mean, there's a disqualification rules for serving on a governing board, but there's nothing about mandatory attendance at meetings or, I mean, that's all left to local control. This is the only thing,
No.
I'm not aware of any other one that
That-
says this will make
Yeah.
you,
I think we have to say yet.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that could be. Okay. Any other item for discussion under this topic?
This is interesting, term limits.
Yes, there's a proposal to limit term
Term
limits. To what,
limits.
to how many?
Um, let's see,
It's 8 years.
8 years.
2 terms. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Mhm. It's already difficult to find people to run for the school board and a
Well,
lot of these.
Plus the knowledge over.
Yeah, you lose a lot of institutional knowledge if you don't allow people to hang around for 14 years, right?
Yeah.
Carol? 6 years. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, they're really going after governing boards this time.
Well, and also superintendents.
Mhm.
I read a whole news article today about all the legislation being proposed around superintendent contracts. Pay and what I guess it would just be one individual pushing the bills, would like to see happen.
I think that sometimes legislation is proposed in response to a single event or
Right.
a
Right.
single issue, and it's
Absolutely.
unfortunate. I think when that happens, I don't think that's the best way to go at policy, generally speaking,
Yeah.
but we'll see. It's early.
You're right. It is.
Okay. Agenda planning tomorrow is Jacqueline and myself at 10 o'clock? Yep. In person? Okay, sounds good to me. Would anyone care to make a motion to adjourn?
I so move that we adjourn.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0, and we are adjourned.
Excellent.
Thank
Short and
you.
sweet.